And in recent news, the Harriet School Board has been contemplating changing next year's school week to a 4-day week. The students, faculty, and teachers have different opinions about this change. Among the students, it is a very strong lean towards not changing the schedule. The students' biggest concerns are related to sports and that they will be spending even more time in school due to sporting events. Mackenzie Ryerson is strongly against the 4-day school week and says her reason is that, "I just don't want to wake up earlier." The teachers are pretty much still undecided on the change. All the teachers agree that whatever happens, they will adapt to it. But as one teacher said, don't fix what isn't broken. And that is a current event story from the Harriet School. And now to Sheldon Weisbeck within the world of sports.
In sports news this week, the Harriet High School girls basketball team has started practice and is preparing for the first game on Tuesday, December 8th at Selby. After visiting with several members of the team, I received word that there are over 20 girls on this year's 7-12 roster. Also, the girls said that practice is going well and they feel they will be ready to go come Tuesday. Also, the Harriet High School boys basketball team has started practice. As football is over, there are 15 boys on the 9-12 roster this year. Coach Heine says that practice is going, quote, okay. And things are different than a year ago, and we all need to find our new roles for this new season, unquote. The boys will start the 2009 season at home against the Falcon Trojans on December 11th in the Harriet High School Gymnasium, tip-off at 8 o'clock. The junior high boys have also began practice. First-year coach Joshua Sharp reports that there are 8 boys on this year's squad. Coach Sharp says that with the speed of this year's team and an effective 2-2-1 half-court trap, the boys will be very competitive. The boys will begin the season against Hovenham and Central on December 17th, and then will travel to Roscoe on December 19th for a tournament. The Green Bay Packers are continuing to make their late season run as they defeated the Ravens 27-14 on Monday night at Lambeau Field. The Packers have won 4 straight and are now 8-4 on the year. Back to you, Turd.
And now to Ed Tomtall with this day in history. Ed?
Thank you, Terry. On this day in history, December 8th, a day after the bombing of Pearl Harbor by the Japanese, Congress officially adopted a proclamation of war against Japan, bringing the U.S. into World War II. Also on this day, in 1980, John Lennon of the Beatles was shot and killed outside of his apartment. He was walking into his apartment and a crazed fan, Mark Chapman, walked up to him and shot him 4 times with a .38 caliber handgun. Lennon was rushed to a hospital but died en route. Chapman had earlier been given an autograph by Lennon and voluntarily stayed at the scene until he was arrested. He was deemed psychotic and was told to plead insanity, but pleaded guilty to murder. He was sentenced to 20 years to life in prison. He still resides in the Attica prison in New York. Also on this day in 1991, the Soviet Union fell after over 50 years of communism in Eastern Europe. And now on to Luke with Sharp's Sharp Attire.
Thanks, Ed. We are here in Mr. Sharp's room to discuss his interesting teaching style, where he has motivated his students to go above and beyond in everything they do. It's called Mr. Sharp's Sharp Apparel. Would you feel that you have inspired students with your apparel?
I would have to say yes, Luke. I mean, look at you, for example, in that beautiful purple shirt, those dress slacks with tennis shoes, and the bedhead. I feel I'm just waiting for you to wear the Miami Vice shoes.
How long do you feel you have been choosing your own apparel?
Well, Luke, I would say until I got married. I was pretty independent, and now my wife definitely monitors what I wear when we go out in public.
One last question, Mr. Sharp. If you could bring back one style of clothing, what would it be?
It would have to be the Zubas, Luke. They're pretty sweet, they got attention, and they had some good designs.
Now back to you, Turd.
Thank you, Luke. And now on to Miles Long Creek with the senior current events.
This is your best looking anchor, Miles Long Creek speaking, and Anna is not as good looking as me. Now, back to the 145 news. This week, the seniors have been working on the reports on a Democrat president and a Republican president. They have also been handing their wreaths out to the citizens of Harriet. The Jostens rep stopped by this week for the seniors to pick out their hats and gowns. I have picked out my hat and gown, yes. The Watertown rep stopped by this week. A senior went to that to see what they had to offer. Yeah. Also, the Wapaton rep stopped by to visit us seniors too. Mass Dybert in further news is starting up with a cedar chest. It is in the making. She will keep us updated. And I, your anchor, built 2 hay feeders for my goats and sheep. This is your anchor, Miles Longcreek. See you next time with the news. And now to Brooke Ackerman reporting on current events.
Well, thank you, Miles. I am here now with the latest AP News updates from around the U.S. In Naperville, Chicago, on December 6th at the Edward Hospital, the Camp family welcomed Ainsley, Emma, and Samantha into their family. It is not uncommon to have a set of triplets, but Elaine and David Camp beat the odds of 1 in 200 million by having identical triplets without fertility drugs. Doctors say all 3 girls are doing very well and will be sent home very soon. In other news, in Lynn, Massachusetts, a 30-year-old man, Anthony Gabi, opened fire inside of a Chinese restaurant after being denied service there. Gabi was denied service because restaurant employees felt an abnormal vibe, believed that he was already intoxicated. Gabi left the restaurant and returned 5 minutes later with an AK-47 and just started firing shots. Police said 3 rounds were fired off inside the bar before one of the customers tackled Gabi to the ground and then grabbed him and pushed him out the door. During all this time, his finger was still on the trigger. Outside, more shots were fired, one of them into a passing car. Miraculously, no one was hurt. Gabi told police that he stole the weapon and decided he wanted to kill himself. Now Anthony Gabi is facing 15 counts of attempted murder. Now back to you, Miles.